Let's see if I can brake torque it real quick. Woo! Mr. Green, I am driving this 1976 two-wheel drive Chevy Suburban. According to the speedometer, I'm going 95 miles an hour, which in reality is way off because I've lined it up with GPS app and it's nowhere near accurate. So anyway, I bought it about 2 or 3 hours ago. It's got 56,000 miles on it. It's lower, probably 3 inches in the back and maybe 2 inches in the front. It's really not very stable because the way they lowered it was not exactly making it very stable. And this road is pretty bumpy, this expressway. Anyway, there's no cup holders in it, and the radio doesn't work. But the cool thing is, my phone, I can stick it on the dash like this, and I can talk to you. I don't think the steering wheel moves down. I don't think there's tilt. If there is, I have no idea how to work it. There's no air conditioning, but it does have 580, and technically it would be 780 because you got 4 windows that roll down, plus the 2 little ones in the front doors, and then the rear glass rolls down like the old station wagons. So they call that a 780 air conditioning, which means you got 7 windows and you go 80 miles an hour. And technically, if I look down, I can see light through the floors, just little cracks. So that gives you a nice little breeze too. But in the winter time, I don't think that would be the most pleasant. It probably might let a little snow come through. But I'm not going to drive this in the winter because it's two-wheel drive. I'm not sure how well you can hear me because it's really loud, like extremely, but I am getting off the expressway now, and it should quiet down quite a bit. So the really funny thing about it, this thing does not, it doesn't.
In 900 feet. Turn right on Wales Center Road.
Doesn't have the best control. However, it does seat 6 comfortably.
Turn right on Wales Center Road.
It's got probably about a 6-foot bed, cargo area, whatever you want to call it, in it. So, and it's got some power. It's got a 350 Chevy in it.
Continue straight for 6 minutes to Rattle Run Road.
The only major downside, bumpy road here. The only downside to this is it's only got a 3-speed transmission. So it takes her a little while to get up to speed, but once she gets going, man, she's got the power. Whoa! She just doesn't have the gears to get you going from 0 to whatever speed you want to go. Anyway, I think I'm going about 55, pretty close to 60, 55. This is the original color, not the original paint job. It's definitely had some fenders replaced, maybe some doors. But on the firewall, there's some actual original markings from the factory. So that's pretty cool. The seat belt, everybody relax. There we go. Keep this thing on the road. The seat belts, when my buddy got it, he's like, oh, this one seat belt doesn't come out all the way. I'm like, no, it's like an airplane seat belt where you literally have the two. Oh, gotta stay on the road here. Gotta hang on to the wheel. You have the two seat belts that come together. I'll show you if I can. Here's one, and then the other one don't reach, but it's just a lap belt, but it connects in the middle. The cool thing is, whoa, I don't know if you can see that. It says GM. That's like the button. It's like if you ever needed like a tool, like a hammer, like, you know, like, I don't know, like to pound on something. This thing, it's like an old pager, like a two-way radio, over. This is Coventry Classic, over and out. Anyway, seat belts are pretty sweet. I guess I should probably reconnect it, being that this isn't exactly the smoothest or safest. Oh, there goes the seat belt. I better keep both hands on the wheels, ladies and gentlemen, or wheel. Let's get this bad boy. There we go. Alright, we're back in business. Now, anyway, she's a little bit of a rough ride, kind of loud. She needs a little bit of work, maybe a tune-up. Holy Hawkeye. I guess I didn't think. Feels like the doors are gonna fall off on this. Whoa! It just went over. Felt like we got airborne there. Anyway, yeah, she runs pretty good. She might need a little tune-up. Get a little wind noise here and there. That might just be, you know, maybe it needs a new seam and window seam. So yeah, 1976. I got a lot of exciting things I'm gonna do to it long term. But for right now, I'm just gonna drive it every day. Just keep it stocked. Just make sure it runs and drives good.
In 1 mile, turn left on Rattle Run Road.
I'm gonna get a storage unit to put it in for winter time. I'm gonna try to get it up on a hoist. Check out the frame a little bit better, get that cleaned up maybe. But right now, yeah, we're gonna call it the Mr. Green Mystery Machine. If you remember Scooby-Doo van, that was called the Mystery Machine. So here we go. Everybody hang on. It's like being in a bus. We're gonna put her to the floor here. She's got power.
Continue straight for 14 minutes to South 10th Street.
Man. I think that's a turbo 350 they call that. I like to put a LS, fuel injected LS with like a 6 or 7 speed in it. Definitely change the color. Whoa. This thing is nuts. It's like being in a freaking roller coaster. I better slow down. Oh, this is freaking hilarious. Oh my God, this is so fun to drive. My wife told me, we've been talking about getting another Tahoe or a Yukon. I really want an Escalade. I like the Cadillacs better. We used to have a Yukon Denali XL, so like the suburban version of a Yukon Denali, which had the 6.2, 402 horsepower, 6-speed trans. That was a long one. That was 2008. That seated 8 people. It had 2 in the front, 3 in the middle, and 3 in the back. So that was an 8-seater. Bench seat, one of those in the middle was very rare. But I got a killer deal on it. She didn't want the long one, but hell, you had to take the deal you could get. We traded that in, and I got a Escalade, shorter version. Same engine, same year, 2008, a lot less miles, 6.2 liter. Had that for a few years, and the shorter one was nice, but the back seats, when you have the back seats up, there's literally no room behind the third row. So we literally kept the third row seats out for years because we never used them, we never had kids. But now we're gonna have 2 kids, so if we get another one, I like the longer ones, but I like the look of the shorter one better. The new ones, the new Escalades and the Tahoes and the Suburbans and all that, they're kind of nice because when you fold the seats down now, they're flat, they're level. The floor's elevated, but they're level. But anyway, we've been talking about getting a Suburban or a Tahoe for a while, but they're really expensive. So I figure I got my wife a Suburban. She didn't say that what year it had to be, so I was gonna kind of surprise her with it, but the excitement, I could not hold the excitement back with surprise, and I showed her, and she wasn't real excited about me even buying it, and she even said that not only was she not gonna drive it, she said she will not even ride in it because she thinks it's so ugly. Now I thought, oh cow, I thought it was a pretty nice looking color. I mean, the Mr. Green Mystery Machine, it makes perfect sense to me. Anyway, I'm gonna slow down here. Feels like the doors are gonna fall off. Let's see if Doug's home. Doesn't look like he's home. Well, if you're home, Doug, I'm in the old burb. Headed to St. Clair, Michigan. Anyway, we're passing Wilkins Auto Sales, #1 volume auto sales dealership within the Wales Smiths Creek radius. Metropolis of Smiths Creek, Wales Center, Columbus Township, #1 volume. #1. I mean, these guys do high volume for this type of area. Anyway, the guy that owns it, Mr. Tom Wilkins Sr., my buddy Tom, it's his dad, and I'm friends with his dad too. They're probably both pretty excited about my new Bourbon I got. But anyway, so just to do a quick synopsis on what I've been up to. Last 2.5 years, I've been studying on and off day trading. Now, technically, it's not day trading. It's actually, it's called Forex, which stands for foreign exchange. And it's the same concept. You're buying and selling. You try to buy when it's cheap and then let it go up and then sell and you make a profit. When you're selling, you try to buy when it's real expensive. You get it at the top, you let it go down, and then you sell, and you make the profit going down, buying and selling. When you're buying, it's going up, that's called going long, or putting in a call. If you're betting against it going down, it's called a short. You're putting in a short. There's a movie called The Big Short, and it talks about how a group of guys were betting on the 2007-2008 recession happening, and they were right. Anyway, I've been studying it for like 2.5 years on and off. Now, a friend of mine, his name's Tim, he's been day trading oil, crude oil. How was that? He's been day trading crude oil for about almost 6 years now. He's a full-time engineer, controls engineer for Chrysler, and obviously makes pretty good money. But trading part-time oil, usually he can make more money trading than he can working full-time. But he only can trade about 3 hours a day because the market's only open certain parts of the day. So Forex, which is what I do, is 24 hours a day, 5 days a week. So I can trade it all day and all night, and I like to do what's called swing trading, which is where it's a few hours or a couple days or even weeks or months where you open the trade and you just let it sit. You don't constantly jumping in and out like a day trader, like in the Wolf of Wall Street. I don't want to be glued in front of a computer for all hours of the day. That's just not my plan. Anyway, I've been studying it on and off for 2.5 years. I've invested quite a bit of money in different training courses. Not a lot, just a few thousand over the couple years. I've lost some money, not a lot, but I haven't invested much either. I've mostly tried different techniques. And from day one, my buddy Tim, the guy that's been doing the oil for, I don't know, however long, 5.5 years, he's been telling me you need to learn this technique called Elliott wave, which basically the theory is, and it's actually very accurate, the theory is that all markets, whether it's stocks, bonds, foreign exchange, which is currencies like the euro versus the USD, that's what Forex is, cryptocurrency like Bitcoin, basically the market goes in waves, and there's patterns that happen over and over and over. But when he first told me about it, I read some of the stuff on it, and I literally could not understand it at all. Like literally, he's like, just read the book, just read part of the book. I kid you not. When I opened the book and I started reading it, it was literally, once they start explaining it, it goes ABC and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then ABC, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then sometimes there's XYZ, or there's XYZ, XZ, and so basically there's all these waves, like ABC, and then there's 3 waves, 5 waves, 3 waves. So I looked at it, I'm like, this is crazy. I'm like, dude, this makes no sense. Like, I'm telling you, you gotta learn. I'm like, well, how long did it take you to learn it? He's like, well, I've been doing it 5 years and I'm just now starting to get the hang of it. I'm like, well, man, there's gotta be an easier way. So for 2 years, I took all these courses, watched all these YouTube videos, listened to all these gurus, blah, blah, blah. And of course, like anything, to learn how to do this, it's like getting a master's degree or a PhD. It takes years and years of learning. And if you're working a full-time job, you have a family, blah, 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 it's hard to spend any time to learn it. So what I would do was, long story short, I met this guy when I first started in one of these groups I was in. His name's J.A. He's from Canada. He has a little more experience with trading than me. And long story short, there's a website called Trading View, like Trading View. And all it is it's a really popular website. It's like the #1 most popular website for charts on what stocks and bonds, what the prices are, and also Forex. It's the equivalent of like Facebook as far as being very popular and very well known. Well, the neat thing with it is there's thousands and thousands of traders that go on these charts.
In a quarter of a mile,
they say,
turn
okay,
left on Fred Moore Highway.
I predict that, for example, the Microsoft, which I don't trade, but let's say Microsoft's at $10 today, January 25th. I think in the next 2 weeks, it's going to go to from $10 to $12 or whatever. okay? And they make their predictions, and then it's automatically recorded, okay? And then
Turn left on Fred Moore Highway.
after that happens, you can see how accurate their prediction was. So there's a guy, and there's thousands of people. Now, based on how accurate they are, they're more popular. They have a higher percentage of their accurate predictions. The number one guy
In a quarter of a mile. Turn left on King Road.
The number one guy on there, his name's Anil Mangal. And within 6 months of him getting on that website, he became number one most accurate prediction and the highest accuracy and the most...
Turn left on King Road.
Thousands of...
In 1.9 miles. Turn
following
right on
him.
Wadhams Road.
And I found out about this guy a year and a half ago. Now, he, within 6 months, became number one most popular. Okay, long story short. He has over 800 predictions on this website, okay? And the crazy thing is, the craziest part about it is, he, holy cow. Hey.
You better follow right
Hey,
now.
look at this psycho that just pulled me over. What did she say? I just videoed when I was in front of your house. I'm like,
You better follow that drink and now.
how did you find me?
We're both in the basement. We gotta take the bathroom. Go to the basement, wash the shit.
Oh my god.
Danielle, here's the horn honking. She's like, is the kids get outside? I'm like, they're not outside. We were upstairs, and both my kids are sitting on the couch, staring out the window at you. She's like, you better follow us.
Where did you come from?
I came flying out right out of the line.
I was supposed to go home, but I was gonna go take pictures and then go home. And I was trying to finish my documentary. And I'm like, why is this guy pulling in? You scared me. I'm like, I'm like, where'd this guy come from? That's hilarious. Oh my God. Dude, I just bought this thing.
Man.
It's not perfect. It's got 56,000 miles on it, but it's a little beat up, but I mean, the frame is solid. The guy who originally bought it sold it. The original guy bought it for $500 in a field, cleaned it all up, and sold it to this dude for like $3,000. And then 2 years later, found it on Craigslist. The guy who bought it flipped the axle and lowered it, and then put some kind of control arms in the back. So then he bought it back from the guy for cheaper. So he made money off of it second time. So I found it. I'm like, I gotta buy it. I'm like, I'll turn my truck in. I'm gonna drive it every day.
We were like, oh, thing's pretty sweet, though.
I'm like,
I can just tell by the person sitting there honking. And I'm like, it's gotta be Nick. You get pulled over all the time.
I just blew through a red light. I was gonna keep going. I see you pulling here. I'm like, oh man, I don't know what the hell if I cut you off. I'm like, wait a minute, he came from that way. So the cool thing is, look how big the bed of it is in the back of it.
It's crazy. The little seats fold down?
Look it's like airplane seatbelts. Look this is the seatbelts. My buddy's like, dude, the seatbelt won't go all the way. I'm like, no, you connect them in the middle. Look at this thing. Look at the. Most of them are 4-wheel drive, and most of them have the front doors. So to open this, and then you flip the tailgate out. So look how big it is back there, dude.
It comes out?
Yeah, it's like a truck.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, look at this. Look at. Now I don't know how to open it now. Just pull it. Oh yeah, right here. Check this out. Look at this, Doug. Look at that. It's like a pickup truck.
Does that thing fold down too?
Yeah. So normally they're.
What is it from here to the street? 10 foot?
If I took the back seats out, it's like
Wait, it's longer than my car.
I told Chris I'm not gonna drive to my quad in the back. Look at this though. And the guy put air shocks on so you can pump it up and you tow something. Oh, dude, I can fit 3 car seats in the back, an air mattress. We go camping in it. Crystal's like, I'm not even gonna ride in it. She wanted a Suburban. She didn't say what year.
Is that what it does?
Yes, Suburban.
No way.
But most of them don't have the tailgate door. Yeah, I'm leaving the window out. Look up. Hey, you want to see if I can brake torque it? I don't know if it'll blow up. I say put a couple surfboards on the roof, go down Gratiot to California. I swear to God, they drove all the way to California down Gratiot like in the 60s because there was no expressway. Can you imagine driving? You know how much gas you'd spend? He's like, yeah, in the back of a station wagon. I'm like, let's do it. All right, I'm gonna see if I can brake torque it real quick. Woo!
In 1.1 miles, turn left on South. In half a mile, turn left.
Camera. I'll shut it off. Living the dream. Hang on. Like a top, smooth as pie, just humming. Downshift, so much power. Next song. Modern radio. All I do is say next song. That's impressive. This ain't no 1970s, 1980s. This ain't even early 2000s. It's modern. Oh yeah. Little Marvin Gaye. Got a lot of power under the hood. Woohoo! Wheels through all 3 gears, baby. Woo! Can burn them right off. It's a good thing it's an 8-foot bed, so I'm gonna need a set of tires every weekend, baby. Woo! 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 0 to 100 in like 5 seconds. 100 feet. This thing. We're looking for Meldrum Road. Where the hell Meldrum Road is? I guess I should put my seatbelt on. It's actually not a seatbelt. Oh, it's a lap belt. Belgium Road. Oh. Whoa! Better take it easy. It's power under the hood. Too much torque. That's my radio. Thank God this thing don't got airbags. You would have to disable airbags just because the amount of power when this thing launches. It would blow the airbags. They'd go right off because they think it was getting hit by a semi from the power. Lift the wheels right off the ground from modified. Good thing. Probably why they ordered them without airbags. All that power under the hood. How about some Johnny Cash? Let's play a little Johnny Cash. Play some Johnny Cash. $57,000 original miles. Pretty good on gas. I've had it for 2 weeks. Had to fill her up. She's got a big tank. Good morning. It is March 3rd, 2018. Beautiful Sunday morning. Look at that snow on that river and that ice. Just out taking a ride in the old 76 Suburban. Saturday morning. Headed to the gym. Just, you know, out taking a Saturday morning cruise. Gonna go see what's going on over here in my buddy Chris's neighborhood. Just went over to John Chopper's house, see if he wanted to go to the gym, and looks like he's still sleeping in. Every time I go over there, he says, "Oh, I'm always working, I'm never home." Every time I go by, every time his truck's there. Every time. Must be tough, John. Must be real tough working so much, even though you're home all the time with the kids, taking them to McDonald's for the play place, out in the garage in the bounce house, 69, 70 degrees year round in the garage. I can't even afford to keep my 1,000 square foot double wide trailer at 68 degrees year round without being on the budget. And here you got your 1,500 square foot, 5.5 car garage with radiant heating system. Just keep it at 69, 70 all year long, you know, why not? Must be nice, John. Anyway, taking a stroll here. We're headed into technically the newer part of the Highlands. I don't know if this is still considered River Ridge or the new phase of the Highlands, but I do know one thing for sure. If you live in here between this part and the old Highlands or the first Highlands or whatever part of the Highlands that's coming up, straight shot. If you live in between here, right in this area, right here, life must be good, because this is where all the high rollers of St. Clair live. All of them. If you don't live on the river, you basically live right in here. Now, take a look at this house on the left, Charger. Look at that. Man. Now those people got it made. Now the guy doesn't shovel his driveway. He's probably too busy working all the time, or busy working on his landscaping. Who knows what he's doing. Right here, future residence, future property, future home of the Fraley family. There it is. Look at that house right there on the right. Man, out of the front yard. Driveway hasn't been shoveled all winter. Probably too busy making so much money, can't even come home. Anyway, we're gonna continue on here. So this is the cream of the crop between River Ridge and Highlands. You live in this little cubby, this little nook area. You know you've made it in life. Unless you live on the river, which obviously, depending on your house, is even better. Now we're gonna head into the original Highlands. I don't know if that part's Highlands or River Ridge, or if they don't even have a name. It's probably unlisted, because, you know, what do you call a small neighborhood like that where everybody's that loaded? I don't know. The 1%? Because you can compare the few amount of houses that are in there compared to all these houses that are in the Highlands, and all the houses that are in River Ridge, and all the houses that are in River Point. Then you have what? A dozen, half a dozen, and in between, in a little nook. It's because you're the 1%. You're the 1 percentile. Anyway, okay, so here we are pulling into one of the most pristine neighborhoods in the area. Now, we've talked about the 1% vaguely, which is those that live in the very nice, finer homes. I believe a lot of them refer to them as estates. Those are on the river. That's typically the average house. There's some of them out there, but the average house on the river is one of the top 1 to 3% of the financially well off. Now, you move into the next lower levels, such as the 5%, which we've talked about. We refer to that as the cream of the Clair, which is typically right around the top 5%. That's between River Ridge, which is right over there, that subdivision just to the south. It's between that and the Highlands, which back in the day in St. Clair, if you didn't live on the river, but you lived in the Highlands, or if you lived in St. Clair and you lived in the Highlands, that was the place to live. Now, and then from there it goes the Clair, the cream of the Clair, which is between the Highlands, which back in the day used to be the cream of the crop. Got the river, so the river, then the cream of the Clair, then you have River Ridge, which is a whole nother level. They're probably the top, I would say 5 to 10%, because there's also Gulf Side. Gulf Side is, well, we'll take a ride through there when we got more time. Gulf Side is definitely one step above River Ridge. Then there's for sure River Ridge. Then there's homes like this one right here. Look at this house. Got a brand new Chevy Cruze in the driveway. Nice fancy, some kind of tree or something sticking in front of that little window by the garage. I mean, the people that live in here, this, like I said, is probably 5 or 10% of St. Clair. When I say 5 to 10%, some of the houses are smaller, more conservative. But then there's ones like that with that brand spanking new Chevy Cruze in the driveway with a 5-car garage. Now, to be conservative, so people don't realize that he's probably along the lines of a 1 to 5%er, he built a more conservative home in one of the 3rd or 4th level neighborhoods to kind of fly under the radar, so to speak. Then from there, they got phase 2, which is going to be back there, okay? Behind all these houses is phase 2. Now, what that's going to be is basically you got the river, you got the cream of the Clair, you got River Ridge, then River Point, then Highlands, because Highlands is getting kind of older. Look at this guy. And then you have River Ridge, which I think is 4 or 5, I lost track. Gulf Side, it's definitely in the top 2 or 3. And then here's phase 2 right in here. Now, phase 2 is going to be like the Section 8 or the low income part of River Point, which is what we're in right now. That won't be ready for estimated couple years. Now, on top of all of that, right down the river here, great straight shot. We got a couple minutes. We'll take a ride and I'll show you. We have a $5 million house being built. Now, the crazy thing is, this is a $5 million project. The guy's paying cash for it. So it's going to take 5 years because he's paying cash for every single piece of material on it. Look at that. $5 million bucks. He's got 4 or 5 fireplaces. Literally has, not only does he have a dock, he basically has a miniature harbor because it has so many slips for boating. Anyway, we're gonna make a quick U-turn here and continue on our tour of St. Clair. Hopefully we don't get stuck or ran over because you know, this thing's got so much power, you know, the wheels start spinning and you just lose control. Anyway, that's today's conclusion for Saturday in St. Clair. Guess we'll call today's episode. This is Mr. Green and the gasoline Mysterine machine. And we're just gonna head through one more quick neighborhood. Since we got a couple minutes, you gotta take it easy because this bad boy doesn't come with cup holders. You know, it's a 1976 Chevrolet Suburban C10, meaning 2-wheel drive, but this is a custom deluxe. The only couple options that I can find out that it didn't come with was air conditioning, which when you have 7 windows, 2 driver's side, 2 on the passenger side, the rear one that rolls down, plus you got your little tiny smoker's windows. When you got 7 windows and you can go 80 miles an hour, You got the 780, went to the wrong neighborhood. You got the 780 air conditioning system. 70 miles an hour, or I'm sorry, yeah, 7 windows, 80 miles an hour. Now this guy here goes by Mark. Now that guy, life is good. Brand new Pacifica, GMC Sierras, Pontiac Grand Prix, pools. That guy's got it made the shade too. Anyway, so we're gonna continue. I thought we were pulling into another subdivision, but with all the, you know, trying to be a narrator, a video editor, a videographer, and also an extremely safe, conservative driver, I wanted to keep my hands on the wheel, my eyes on the road, and I thought I was pulling into River Ridge, but we pulled into River Point. As you can see, these homes to the right, pretty nice view of the river. Houses down there on the left, they're really nice, most of them. They're so nice they got to put them down low just because it's just so phenomenal. Now, again, River Ridge. This would be number, out of all the subs, River's number 1. Gulfside and the cream of Clair probably equivalent. Gulfside's a lot bigger. Then you have River Ridge, which is this. And then I would have to say the original part. The original part of River Point, the first phase, that would probably be next in line. And then the second phase is real low on the list because that's, like I said, going to be the low income, low version. Look at that Yukon. Man, someone must be doing good. So we're headed through River Ridge towards the Highlands, which again, when you go through between the two, you end up going through the cream of the Clair, top 5%. River's 1%, cream of the Clair, and Gulfside are in the top 5%. And then you have a few people sprinkled in River Ridge, which we're just now leaving, and River Point, where they like to fly under the radar and live in a little bit more conservative looking home. But in reality, their basement's probably filled with gold bricks. And remember Scrooge McDuck? There's rumor there's one guy's got a vault basically in his basement, and he can almost swim in all the gold coins. There's so many of them. Problem is they're so heavy it's hard to swim, so he basically just shovels with them. Now check this out. This is really cool. This guy here, I don't remember his name. Really cool guy. He's got a bunch of old cars, like I think he said he's got a 71 either Charger or Cuda, forget what it is. He's got a whole bunch of old stuff. I've only talked to him for a couple minutes, I don't know all the details, but anyway, here we go. Now we're officially, his house is the first one in the cream of the Clair. Now again, some of the homes are more conservative than the others. You'll be able to tell based on how well off they are. The crappier their driveway, the less it's shoveled, usually the richer they are, because they're too busy making money. See, now this guy, nice driveway, cleaned it up, you know, took a little bit of time. This person, same thing, you know. These people, they're on vacation, so that's why the garbage cans are still out. They're on vacation, so there's, you know, there's nothing they can really do. Right here, this lot right here, future home, future family of a good buddy of mine, Doug Fraley, and his wife and kids. Now this guy, pretty sure the reason his driveway is not done is because he's so busy down in his basement, probably counting all the gold coins and gold bars and all that. This home here, pretty nice, actually really nice. And again, this is all considered the top 5%, the cream of the Clair. I mean, look at these houses straight ahead. I mean, look at these. Nothing but woods behind them. Just absolutely incredible. Now we're exiting the cream of the Clair, and technically I don't know if there's a name because they're between the Highlands, which we're entering now, and River Ridge, which is where we came from. It's in between. The blacklisted under the ground, you know, under the radar name, they call it the Nook, so that people don't know what they're talking about. But the top 5%, those that are in the inner circle, they refer to it as the cream of the Clair. Now, a neat thing is this is all the Highlands, okay? The border of it now. All through here, if you head directly east through these woods, straight shot to the St. Clair River and Canada. Holy cow. Didn't realize this road was so bumpy. Anyhow, we're leaving. Now this isn't technically in the Highlands anymore. This is on the outskirts of it. The Highlands is actually behind these houses. This is all back to the middle class, lower class, regular Joe Blow, just like myself. Actually, I'm in the 5% as well, but I'm in the lower 5%. This concludes today's video and tour of St. Clair, Michigan. Again, it's March 10th, the day before my birthday. Beautiful, look at that sun. Beautiful Saturday morning. I gotta get to my chiropractic appointment. One more quick thing I'd love everybody to see. Now, there's the Twin Mansions. Now, there's a tunnel that goes under the road and out to the river. And here's the St. Clair Inn coming up here. St. Clair Inn is being completely redone. They actually took the complete center part of it out, which you'll be able to see here in a minute. It's gone. They tore the whole center out where the pool used to be. They tore all these buildings out. Supposedly, that's going to be a Starbucks. But anyway, look at that beautiful view of St. Clair River in Canada. The Twin Mansions had tunnels that went directly under the ground and out to the river for back when it was Prohibition. Supposedly, they remember rum runners or whatever they call that, where they would run the booze, the bootleggers. They would bring the boats in, and they would sneak the booze in somehow through those tunnels. Now, rumor has it the tunnels are still there. Whether or not you can get to them or how they're connected, that I don't know. Anyway, it's 14 minutes. Have a wonderful day. Woo! Must be nice, John. Anyway, taking a stroll here. We're headed into technically the newer part of the Highlands. I don't know if this is still considered River Ridge or the new phase of the Highlands, but I do know one thing for sure. If you live in here between this part and the old Highlands or the first Highlands or whatever part of the Highlands that's coming up, straight shot. If you live in between here, right in this area, right here, life must be good, because this is where all the high rollers of St. Clair live. All of them. If you don't live on the river, you basically live right in here. Must be nice, John. Anyway, taking a stroll here. We're headed into technically the newer part of the Highlands. I don't know if this is still considered River Ridge or the new phase of the Highlands, but I do know one thing for sure. If you live in here between this part and the old Highlands or the first Highlands, this concludes today's video and tour of St. Clair, Michigan. Again, it's March 10th, the day before my birthday. Beautiful, look at that sun. Beautiful Saturday morning. I gotta get to my chiropractic appointment. One more quick thing I'd love everybody to see. Now, there's the Twin Mansions. Now, there's a tunnel that goes under the road and out to the river. And here's the St. Clair Inn coming up here. St. Clair Inn is being completely redone. They actually took the complete center part of it out, which you'll be able to see here in a minute. It's gone. They tore the whole center out where the pool used to be. They tore all these buildings out. Supposedly, that's going to be a Starbucks. But anyway, look at that beautiful view of St. Clair River in Canada. The Twin Mansions had tunnels that went directly under the ground and out to the river for back when it was Prohibition. Supposedly, They remember rum runners or whatever they call that, where they would run the booze, the bootleggers. They would bring the boats in, and they would sneak the booze in somehow through those tunnels. Now, rumor has it the tunnels are still there. Whether or not you can get to them or how they're connected, that I don't know. Anyway, it's 14 minutes. Have a wonderful day. Woo!